Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Generation X Nation. I'm going to do a real quick video. Monday is usually when I do my Love and Marriage Huntsville review. And since it did not air this weekend, I'm going to go ahead and give a review as to why I think it didn't air. Okay. First things first, thank you to everybody who leave a comment, who has subscribed to my channel. Like I say, I do try to respond to all of my comments and anything that people write up. I appreciate it, good or bad or indifferent. Again, it doesn't bother me. My feelings does not get hurt that easily. Okay. Secondly, um, I do my reviews on Love and Marriage Huntsville usually on Mondays, like I say, but since it's not airing, I'm gonna give you my opinion as to why it's not airing. But I also watch other television shows. I usually do reviews on Love and Hip Hop, the franchise, and the Housewives franchise. And every now and then I'll throw some other people in there. But going forward, I will start doing more hot topics because there's a lot of mess going on in these streets with some of these celebrities and just different things that I've seen on social media. Um, I also watch a lot of other reality TVs. I just don't do reviews on it, like 90 Day Fiance. I've watched Love Island, Love is Blind, and stuff like that. I may start implementing that. But Love and Marriage Huntsville, I guess, was near and dear to me, and that's why I did it because I've been watching it since season one. Now, with that being said, it is on a hiatus. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing because they did the same thing with Ready to Love Philadelphia. But Philadelphia, I'm going to be honest. When I seen that show, Ready to Love Philadelphia, when I watched the first episode, and I've watched Ready to Love from the very first season when they started in Atlanta. Philly to me was not the best crew out of all the cities they've been to. I didn't see again, this is alleged in my opinion and for entertainment purposes only. And this is not negatively saying anything negative toward the people on the show. But I'm saying the cast on the show, it seemed like they could have cast better. I don't know, maybe people just didn't line up to be on that show. Because you had people on there who have been in a relationship for 10, 11 years with 4 kids and saying they're trying to find somebody to love. Who you didn't love the person you got these 4 kids by? But you know what? That's a whole nother topic. Let's get back to Love and Marriage Huntsville because I can go on and on about that show. And maybe I will do a video on it. With that being said, I think, and this is just my opinion, yes, there were some rating problems. That is absolutely sure, that's the truth. People were going back and forth with the ratings fluctuating each week. Yes, there were some issues with the whole Martell and Ariane, issue where seemed like Martell kept bringing her name up as though he was trying to throw her, shove us down her down our throat and make us like her, whether we want to or not, so he can ease her onto the show. Then there was also issues with that whole Ken Marquez and Latricia situation. Of course, they kicked Marquez off the show, and then he's on the internet fighting with them last week about you better not be in the house, the whole divorce thing and all of that. Trisha shows her anger issues and she needs therapy. Ken is always popping off of this steroid rage, like I like to call it. I'm not saying he on steroids. I'm just saying that's what he gives me. Um, they definitely have anger issues in that family. So, and then you had the Scotts, who again, I love Marceau. I will not deny I love Marceau, but Marceau is the only one playing. He's the only one checked in to me, and he's really given us reality TV. I like Marceau. He's not bending over backwards. He's not kissing any butt. He's being Marceau. And then everybody else is kind of talking around the situation. Maurice is trying to stop Martell from going off because he know Martell got more dirt to share that he hasn't shared. Marceau said, I don't give a F. Tisha is voiding conversations, and Kimmy is just throwing it back at you. You ask her a question, she asks it back to you. It's just not working. Then you have the Fletchers. They may be the only one that's trying to um, make it a show along with Marceau. But then you have Fletcher. He kind of stirring the pot because Fletch did start a lot of those conversations about some of the stuff he said, even though he's hiding. You know, um, Miss Fletcher, Nell, Letitia Scott, she's trying to play ball too. She's getting in there, questioning them, getting deep. Why don't y'all share y'all lives? I think the biggest problem with the show is not so much the plot, the storylines, and again, everybody's still trying to ride off of the ex-castmate, especially Martell and Ariel. I think the biggest problem is some of the legal issues going on. If you remember all the lawsuits that were filed, and again, I'm not in that mess. I'm not going to call anybody's name because I don't want to be in that mess. But Mel is in a lawsuit with somebody. Then you got, I think it's Maurice is in a lawsuit with some content creators. And then you got Marceau was in a lawsuit with some contractors. And it was just a lot. And then Ariane and Martell at the courthouse messing with his ex-wife. And now she's, going back and forth, the harassment charges, the DV charges, all these different lawsuits, and some of the lawsuits included OWN Network. Some of them, I think, even wrote Oprah Winfrey name in there. I don't know. I mean, some of them might have wrote Carlos King name in there. So maybe OWN is saying, you know what, let's pull back, look at the numbers, and see if all of this is worth it. Because if you go to YouTube, you're going to see different content creators. Again, I'm not in that mess. Leave me out. My channel's not monetized. I do this because I like doing it. It's a hobby. I don't want no parts of it. But I will speak my opinion, okay? So, and feel free to look. I don't care if you look at me. I don't give a shit. But what I'm saying is, these people who are going back and forth, and I wish they wouldn't. I really wish everybody would just get along because YouTube has billions of people on it. Find your audience, make your money, whatever it is you want to do. But these people who are constantly up in these courthouses filing all of these different affidavits and motions and whatever, and I'm not no legal person. I'm just, I don't know all these legal jarring terms and stuff. I think OWN is probably saying, you know what, I gotta weigh it. Is this show worth it? Even though a lot of it is getting thrown out, they still have to pay lawyers and stuff to show up or do it or file depositions to throw these things out. So maybe they're looking at both sides. Is it worth us constantly going through all these lawsuits and get this thrown out? Get thrown out, or is it work, or we just cancel the show and save our money? So I don't know if the content creators is causing the problems with the show being canceled, or is it, along with the castmates and the plots and the scheming, the plotting, and some of the storylines. I think it's a combination of both. And I think maybe the producers, directors, and the people who make the final say so on OWN is starting to say, hey, is this show worth it? Because it's causing too much animosity and too many legal issues. A lot of the people who are fans of the show are very toxic. And that's not to knock everybody. A lot of the content creators have a division where they're on this side talking negatively about some people or on this side talking negatively about some people. It's very toxic. And I think OWN is probably saying, what should I do? I've had one or two nasty comments in my thing about that. I don't care. It's my opinion. That I don't know the people. I don't have anything personally against them. And I think overall they're very nice people. I just when they're on the show and we're watching an episode, that's what we do, at least me, that's what I do my commentary on. Now, some of these other people out here, whatever personal vendettas they have, I don't know why, but some of it does sound a little personal. And why? I don't know, because you don't know them personally you know I mean, for the most part. But it's just maybe people do it based off of their own personal life experiences. I know how to differentiate, between what's not saying it's not real, but I know I can give an opinion and not hate a person. That's part of what's wrong with this country now, but that's another topic to talk about too, okay? But I think, and just my opinion, I'm gonna get off Beyonce's good internet, is the low ratings along with the storylines that aren't lining up or not really strong storylines, along with this man trying to shove this woman down our throat and still using his ex-wife storyline, along with the legal issues, it's probably all coming together at once. And OWN is probably saying, let's weigh the odds. Is it worth keep running this show and then still having lawsuits after lawsuits after lawsuits and different legal issues going on with cast members getting arrested for this or arrested for that? Or should we just go ahead and end it? It's 10 seasons. I think they're in syndication, and I don't know who makes money, off of royalties for, they get, when your show is in syndication, you get checked for something. I don't know how they contracts look, but they'll get something off the show, I think, eventually. The only issue at the end of the day, if this is the last season of the show, uh, what do you think Martell and Ariana gonna do? What's gonna be their next thing? Because as castmate, as we seen, she has leveled up, okay? From Fashion Week to launching this to being in magazines and doing interviews. They probably at home just punching themselves like, damn, I know they are. But yeah, when you talk about somebody who fumbled the bag, Martell didn't just fumble the bag, he picked it up and kicked it another 100 yards. Just my opinion. So, what do y'all think? Do you think it's the casting, the bad storylines, or do you think on the other side it's these legal fees that's causing them to maybe pull back? Because normally we have way more than 8 episodes before they go mid-season. And I remember Tisha saying at some point in one of those Tisha Tuesdays that they would started filming again. So are they filming to redo some new episodes by November? And the ones that they had to air, they're trashing and they're gonna do some new episodes? Because if you go back and look at one of her Tisha Tuesdays, I could have sworn she said something about we filming right now. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what I thought I heard her say it. I have to go back and look at one of those things, but I thought she said that. So maybe they're refilming. So the next 8 episodes will have something more than, oh, we're talking about the same old Martell issue. We're talking about the YouTube video. We're talking about did they cheat or didn't cheat. We're over that. Let's just be real. And with that being said, this is Generation X Nation. I hope I gave y'all something to think about. And hey, leave a comment. What do you think the real issue is? Is it all the legal issues that's going on, or you just think the storylines is weak? All right, you guys go like, subscribe, and you go out and have a great rest of your day. This is Gen X Nation, and I'm out. Peace.